The Wuthering Waves journey continues, and it's time for me to finally learn more about one of my personal favorite characters, Danjin. Now, one of the PGR legends himself, Spider2B, has put together a great video talking about those who want to main Danjin in Wuthering Waves using some information from the current closed beta test. I wanted to enlighten myself more about Danjin's kit, and I thought it would be good to bring you along with me so I could give you some thoughts and input that I have about this character herself. Before we jump into the video though, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It always helps support the channel, and I greatly appreciate that and the community that we've been building here. Now, I will place this at the beginning and say that probably the entirety of this video is not going to end up in this reaction, so I would definitely suggest you go to Spider2B's channel, subscribe if you haven't, and make sure to watch and like this video there. I want to make sure the video gets the support that it is due for as well. Spider puts together some great content for PGR2. Thank you so much, Spider, for the content, and let's jump into it.
Pang. What? Pang. What's your name?
So you want to main
What is
Danjin.
happening?
Well, do you like dual swords? Do you like family? Do you like living on the edge? Do you like having enough combos to make you feel like a fighting game player? And do you like the color red? Everything in red. Just like Danjin. Then Danjin might be the resonator for you.
Honestly, his videos always he has some great meme intros that are just like so funny. I love the Vin Diesel family memes. They get me every time. I don't know why. It's so
See
good.
more Wuthering Waves content. Don't forget to subscribe, and also stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/spider2b. And if you make any corrections or forget to mention something, it'll be in the pinned comment down below. Alright, let's
Thanks,
carve on.
Spider. We'll be sure to check that out.
問題ない
Danjin was born along with her twin sister as the last of their generation to possess powerful abilities from a bloodline of warriors called the Sapphire of Huanlong, who fought
Is her sister Yinling? I mean, they have a shockingly similar design in terms of like the red hair and the overall appearance. So is that confirmed? I'm not 100%. I feel like I should probably know that, but I don't. And I'm going to go and guess it's Yinling.
the Renodins, the enemies, to protect the people. Sapphire warriors were loved by the people, but the more that they used their power, the more that they broke down, posing a danger to not only themselves, but the people around them in battle. Nowadays, with the enemy threat gone, the sisters are able to live a peaceful life. At least that's what her dad thought. But the elder sister began using her powers at will, unknowing of the consequences. Yet, to the surprise of everyone, she didn't suffer the same condition that plagued the Sapphire warriors of the past, but the same couldn't be said for her younger sister Danjin, who suffered quietly. When the elder sister heard the adults talk about trying to treat Danjin, she left home with her sister and they joined the Midnight Rangers. There, Danjin was the adopted younger sister of the Midnight Rangers who helped look after her. But as the days grew on with the Midnight Rangers, the elder sister's abilities got stronger while Danjin was suffering in her place. Withering away more of her health, the stronger her sister became. Danjin was ready to sacrifice herself in exchange for her sister's survival, but when the elder sister found out, she took Danjin and left the Midnight Rangers since she no longer trusted them as they neglected Danjin's health just like the adults. So they wandered the outside world trying to find a cure for Danjin. In-game, Danjin's story is reflected in her abilities. She's a 4-star DPS.
That's such a like depressing story that she's basically just like exploited no matter where she goes because she's just like so powerful. They don't care what happens to her. Oh, that's like really tragic. I do really like though that like there's like kind of like that sibling bond story. That's always fun. I always really like those. And if it is Yinling too, and like the two are interconnected, that's just great. Two like top tier characters for me, and they've like got like really close direct stories. Love that. I'm into it. Let's go.
That sacrifices HP to do massive havoc damage using dual blades with Yandere style intent. But before I get into her kit, do note that this is a closed beta test and everything said from here is subject to change. So I won't be including overlays and stuff, and not because I'm lazy and I'm running out of time to record this video. What do you mean? Right through her kit, her normal attack string performs 3 consecutive blade strikes at melee range. Her charge attack consumes stamina to do fast multi-hit slashes, and her plunge attack deals havoc damage in an AoE. Now let's talk about her skill, which is the bread and butter of her kit. Pressing her skill will drain 20% of Danjin's HP to do a strike, dealing havoc damage and adding a charge to her gauge. But you don't want to single tap this ability like other resonators. Instead, you want to combo the skill with her basic attacks.
I wonder if she's got a passive that introduces like increased damage as she gets lower health, like to like synergize with her kit or what. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep playing. We'll find out.
She has 2 combos. Her first combo, Vermilion Eclipse, activates by normal attacking twice, then quickly pressing the skill twice to do an X slash, dealing havoc damage, adding 2 charges to her gauge, and reducing the target's havoc resist. Note that this is her only combo that doesn't drain HP, and I'll refer to it as 2-hit combo for the rest of the video. Her other combo, Scarlet Ember, activates by normal attacking 3 times, then quickly pressing the skill 3 times to deal a cleaving combo, dealing havoc damage, and filling her entire gauge at the cost of 60% of her HP. And I'll refer to this as her 3-hit
That's a
combo
lot.
for the rest of the video.
60%. By the way, for those of you wondering, I am watching this on 1.25 times speed. To be honest, that's slowing things down. I often watch videos at 1.75 or in some cases even 2 times speed, but I figured that's probably not great for other people to watch along with me, so it's just down to 1.25 times speed.
Normal attack 2 or 3 times, and then press the skill 2 or 3 times after. These combos are essential to deal havoc damage
Okay.
as well as filling the gauge, and not doing them will take forever to build that gauge.
Those combos are really important to her kit, like to really get that energy recharge and stuff. That's, I don't know. I'm really bad when it comes to combos in fighting games. So I'm pretty unga bunga when it comes to action RPGs and for games like this. So that might be a little tough for me.
Hold down the normal attack when the gauge is full. It does a multi-hit AoE attack, dealing massive havoc damage and healing some of
Oh, that's such a cool enemy. I haven't even seen that yet.
Damage. And she has specific passives at different HP levels. So
Like
if she's below
Salvage
60%,
Scar.
she does more havoc damage. And if she's below 30%, then her skill doesn't cost any more HP. So you don't end up killing yourself in game. And there's not much else to be said about the skill other than it keeps her from joining her ancestors.
Okay, so I was right that they do look at increasing the damage. It's nice that there's actually a cap on the health loss, though, that it's not just a certain percentage amount every time. Like, so that like you can never kill yourself for it, but like, you know, if you bring yourself down to like 5 HP because you just keep using the skill and it just keeps going down by a certain percent every single time. So that's nice. I like that there's a 30% cap at the very least, because yeah, I have a hard time with low health characters.
When swapping in, Danjin performs a Malice Strike attack, dealing havoc damage. But if you quickly press her skill twice, she'll automatically chain into her 2-hit combo, which helps speed up filling her gauge. After a perfect evasion, her next attack does a slash strike, and again, if you press her skill twice quickly after, you can trigger her 2-hit combo, just like her swap-in attack. And her ultimate makes her go full Yandere mode, unleashing her Scarlet Bloom to do 7 AoE blade strikes in front of her, dealing massive havoc damage to enemies in the area. Note that she's invincible, but immobile during this duration.
I love the invincibility. I love all the Yandere jokes, though. She goes full Yandere mode. Love that. Absolutely love it.
And in terms of what abilities to max first, I like to start with her skill since that's the main part of her kit, and then her ultimate into her swap and attack, and then finally her basic attack. And as for the bonuses in her skill tree, you can either pick between Overflow and Scarlet Ray. Both of them are good, so just pick whichever one you prefer. Next up, we have Sequence Change, which is similar to Constellations in Genshin or Evolutions in PGR. It's not really needed for her to function, but it adds a bit of damage and quality of life to her kit.
See, that's always nice. It can be so frustrating in gacha games when certain characters like are basically just unusable at like low like duplication or whatever that's called, like resonance, duplication, constellation, whatever the game you're playing is. If a character is effectively unusable at a low constellation, like that's just like a garbage character in my opinion. The duplicates should always just like increase the value and make them better, but not make them become valuable like at all. Like it's a bit of a balance there, but you should be able to use any character you get one copy of and have them be like a solid performing character in my opinion. I think any more than that, it's just like it can start to feel kind of greedy. So I'm happy to hear that like she's very usable out the box.
As for weapons, note that all weapons in the same tier have the same base attack.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The Primordial Sword, which is not ideal, but usable in the very, very early game. I wouldn't level it if you can help it though, because the base attack is just way too low.
I wonder if that's going to change in the final release. If like this is like just for the beta, they just kind of have placeholders that they just have everything in the same tier, it's just with the same base attack, or if on final release there's going to be a little more tuning there. Yeah, that'll be something to, you know, maybe keep an eye out for to see if that's something they decide to change.
And finally, the Flowing Wishes is a universally good 5-star sword, and currently the only one in the CBT, which makes it the best in slot by default from the base stats alone, although you'll need some form of crit rate in your build to take full advantage of the crit damage stat.
I'm sure that's probably just a CBT thing. Like, there's no shot there's going to be one 5-star sword that's going to be in the entire game. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what more weapons kind of come out on full release, but the sword itself looks awesome. I kind of get the impression that it might be designed a little bit more for Yang Yang based on the appearance and looking at some of the like coloring and stuff there, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's more for her or potentially somebody else?
Now let's talk about how you want to gear Danjin. The gearing menu is split between the tonic main slot echo and the consonant side slot echo. Echoes are kind of like the gear for this game. In the early game, you just want to get an attack main stat on the tonic. In the mid game, you want to look for the deep scale and havoc accompaniment 3-piece set for more havoc damage and havoc resist shred. You can find the pieces by obtaining one of them and clicking on the Sonata button and tracking the enemies. The higher level your resonance terminal, the better quality echoes you'll get. And if you head into the sound collection in the resonance record, which is kind of like the novice missions for the game, you can get a free havoc damage crownless echo by completing rank 5. And this gives the 4-piece set bonus, Forgotten Movement, to further increase your ultimate's havoc damage. And havoc users in the CBT seem to be able to take advantage of all 3 set bonuses on one character, which is kind of broken.
That's crazy. That I would be shocked if that made it into the final release of the game, unless there's going to be ways to eventually do that with the other characters on full release as well. That does seem a little bit broken to have that of having all 3 effects triggered on one character. Like the build is just like, oh, have everything, have all the passives. It's just great.
And I want to quickly run over teams as well. From what I've played, there doesn't seem to be a set team to run, so I just run whoever with Danjin. You can run healers if you need more healing, but Danjin's always going to be low anyways. And all the concerto team buffs essentially just add damage.
I wonder if that'll change again as well in the final release. I'm sure things will. Like, you know, at the end of the day, this is still a closed beta, but I would be interested to see if there's going to be more team polishing. Like I find in Punishing Grey Raven, it's pretty essential to get some of the like high damage or push the higher grade content. That team composition is super important. Like, you know, I know we've been talking a little bit about the fire meta team and what that's going to look like when Nanami Starfarer, I think is her official English translation is what her name is. The team builds matter. So I'm sure we'll see that as we get more and more into the higher grade content and on the full release, but I'll be interested to see what that looks like for sure.
Danjin is a very delicate balancing act. And in the hands of an inexperienced player, she may just seem like an overly complex player that keeps draining HP, but when mastered, she's a literal monster of a unit. Since she's always at low HP, she requires you to know your enemy well to dodge and stay alive and not get like one shot. But to negate the low HP, you need to constantly be using your 2-hit and 3-hit combos to build and fill up that gauge, so you can charge attack to heal, and that way you'll keep your HP stable. But this will just take some practice. The
immediate thing that just popped into my head is like, look bro, Danjin's good, you just have a skill issue.
Maybe the timing of this video probably doesn't make much sense since the game probably won't be out for like another year, but I had to make a video on her because she's probably one of the most fun characters I've played in the CBT. Plus for a 4-star character, she has so much depth, which is just amazing.
I really hope that it's not another year. That would be like, oh, that would be so painful if it was a whole another year before we had to wait for Wuthering Waves to come out. Like, I'm so excited for this game, and I really hope it's not another year. I think in a perfect world, based on the rumors that we've heard, if it's like, you know, another closed beta test this fall, like 3-4 months from now, where we can see the changes, we can see the polishing and the fine tuning, and then, you know, maybe something early next year, like, you know, maybe beginning of 2024, like winter 2024 would be like sweet. I would absolutely love if that was the case, because man, if I had to wait all the way till like next summer, like, oh, that would be painful for sure. As I said before, make sure to go to Spider2B's channel to check it out and get the full experience of the video. And you can, you know, slow it down a little bit on your side too and not watch it at 1.25 times speed like I like to. I think it's great. Spider made a comment towards the end of the video where he was saying Danjin is awesome, especially as a, you know, 4-star or A rank unit, being actually really deep and complex, which is typically something you would only get from the 5-star units, and that actually she's extremely fun to play, viable, and is a really solid DPS unit. And that is really exciting to see that on the lower rarity units. It is really exciting to see that they're making all these characters have like such, you know, depth to them, and no unit seems like a filler from everything that I can see in the information that I've looked at, as every unit has their place and, you know, just leans to different play styles for different people. I love it. Super excited. I really hope Wuthering Waves, the full release, is not a whole nother year from now, and it could be like maybe the beginning of 2024, which still feels like so far away. But that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate that and appreciate the support on the channel. Make sure to, again, like and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves and PGR content. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.